So here's another run at factoring the difference of squares. The first thing that we need to know about factoring the difference of the two squares is to recognize this is a question that involves the factoring of the difference of squares. So how do we know that? All you need to do, just look, if you have a binomial, two terms, both of them are perfect squares, like here, that's a perfect square and that's a perfect square. And between them is the difference. That's why we call it the difference. So it's between them is a minus. When that's the case, all you need to do is just square root this, put it here and there, and then square root this, put it here and there on all of them. So let's start. Square root of x squared is x. So there we go, right here and right there. And the square root of 81 is 9. So I'm going to put a 9 here and a 9 there. Right. My pen just decided to quit on me. So that's a 9 right there. Okay, the second one is the same thing. That's a binomial. It's the difference of squares because this is a perfect square, this is a perfect square. So the square root of this is going to be 2x. So you put 2x here, 2x there, and then square root of 49 is 7. So you put a 7 here and a 7 there. How about here? This is not the difference of squares because 2 is not a perfect square, 18 is not a perfect square. So let's ignore this for a second. Let's just jump into this and then come back to that. How about this? It's a fraction. Is it the difference of squares? Definitely is, because the top is a perfect square, the bottom is a perfect square, top here is perfect square, the bottom is a perfect square. So the same strategy, plus, minus, or minus plus, it doesn't matter. The square root of x squared is x. Square root of 16 is 4. And the square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 25 is 5. I repeat this in here. And the last one, the one before this, here is not a perfect square. But however, you know, the first thing we learned in factoring is to look if we have the greatest common factor. And the greatest common factor here is 2. So we have 2 and then open brackets. That will give me x squared minus 9. So now this is a difference of two squares. So now we carry the 2 right here, and then the square root of x squared is just x. So you put x here and x there, and the square root of 9 is 3. You put a 3 here and a 3 there. Now, how about this one? This one looks a bit different from what we had, but just look at this as one thing right here. Is this thing a perfect square? This square right here makes all of this a perfect square, because the square root of all of this just cancels the square. So to factor this, you're going to get a plus or minus the same thing. And the square root of 9 is 3. It's easier. So I'm just going to put that at the end because it's at the end here. And x minus 3 squared, the square root of that is just x minus 3. So I'm going to put x minus 3 here and x minus 3 there. Now simplify. Negative 3 plus 3 going to give you 0. So you end up with x here. And this is going to give me x minus 6 in brackets. And that's how simple it is to factor the difference of squares. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time, bye-bye.